Okay, Natasha Baker here from Earthbound Therapeutics. I just want to be clear really fast. We're going to be talking about the reasons why we're going to use RockTape during pregnancy. If you so choose, it is your choice. But with that being said, I am not getting paid from RockTape. I know that I've had a previous person thinking that I'm advertising this because I'm getting paid. I am not getting paid by RockTape. I am RockTape certified in functional movement training and basic rock taping. So with that being said, I just love the product. I love what it does. Been using it for years. And yeah, so I am not getting paid for this, people. I am just doing it as an educational thing for people. And today's topic is how to use RockTape during pregnancy. So the reasons why I use RockTape is because it creates support, it creates new pathways to the brain, and it allows the skin to lift and allow the fascia and the tissue to serve as a comfort method. So that's why I like it. Now, in my past experiences with my children, I have 3 as old as 18, but my youngest is 3. So 3 years ago, I got certified in bekung belly binding. I thought it would be a great tool in my tool bag before I knew about RockTape, and I also wanted to use it within my scope, as well as when I was pregnant. My doctor, I was so big, I'll put a picture in the comments to show you, or not the comments, yeah, there's gonna be some pictures of me. So I was huge, and I was getting to the point where I was very uncomfortable. My son was almost 10 pounds. So I was just getting to the point where I didn't want to use a belt, but they were suggesting a possible belt. Now the thing with belts is that they can create torticollis, and just it will lift baby up and those kinds of things. But if you're trying to have a natural birth and you want a good optimal birthing position, that is not something that I suggest or personally would use. So I'm just gonna leave that right there. If you wanna research more about torticollis, if you have a chiropractor and you want to get more information about that in regards to using a belly belt during pregnancy, have at it. That is one little key point that you can bring up with your practitioner. Now with the bekung belly binding, it's like some muslin material. It's very thin, and you're wrapping it as tight as you can with lots of knots. I don't like that either, because you have to wear a layer underneath, and then you have these big old granny panties. You know, you're still bleeding, you also are breastfeeding, and it's just like everything is just, it's very comforting and soothing when you want to hold everything in. I will say that. But to a certain point, it gets to be too much, and then when you constantly have to go change your pad or go to the bathroom or whatever, it just became, for me, a headache. So if that's something that you want to look into to do your pros and cons on what works best for you, you got to do what is best for you. So with all that, we also have this thing during pregnancy where you do a lot of pelvic dumping, and we have lordosis in the back. So when I stand up and I have a belly that's sticking out like this, my pelvis is tilting forward, okay? Over time, that does create tricks to the body of wrong movement and lazy posture. And with RockTape, that kind of lifts and holds it all together, especially if you're doing some motherhood fitness on the daily basis. Even if you're just walking and doing regular functional movements or range of motions, it's really beneficial. I also found it very great for myself in postpartum. I had stage 2 diastasis recti, and it helped when I was exercising. It gave me that support, and it as well helped me regain and grow the tissue back with the support of RockTape. But with belts, you know, it just squeezes your guts in, and the bekung belly binding, I'm just totally against it, and I have every reason to be because of the education and the research that I've done. And there's plenty of back end behind it, but I'm also an Arvigo therapist, and with all that being said, we have a central diaphragm and 3 diaphragmatic openings, which permits passing of structures between the thorax and the abdomen, which allows the aorta, esophagus, and vena cava blood flow to pass through. And during the postpartum period, it's so fragile. We need that blood flow. And if it cannot function optimally, that will compromise homeostasis or hemodynamics in the abdomen. So in the abdomen, we have the solar plexus up here and then the root chakra. And when things are pressed up and just everything, you know, you can't take a bowel movement, things hurt more, bloating ends up happening more, your menses, you have clots, digestion issues, just a lot of things are happening. So it's very important that you are doing some self-massaging, you know, rubbing your abdomen in a clockwise motion. You're still continuing to move and trying to see if RockTape does work for you. So those are my tips, and if you have any questions, please DM me. You can also go to www.earthboundtherapeutics.com for any additional information, or go into the link in my bio, subscribe, or click on the links, and it will direct you to message me or any questions that you may have. So I wish you well, and go ahead and enjoy the rest of the videos and the pictures to come. Thank you so much. RockTape. We're gonna cut around the edges. Some of them have square edges. If you don't cut around the edge, then it's going to catch, and then it will become not sticky. So you'll take, all right, so you'll take this RockTape here, and see with pregnancy we have a natural anterior pelvic tilt, so we tend to dump, you know, do a lot of dumping. What we want to do is we want to kind of bring that in. So you'll go ahead and find your ASIS where your pelvic bones are right here. They kind of stick out. And then you're going to take the rounded piece and you're going to place it. First you'll kind of rip here, okay? And then you're going to place it here. And then you're just going to kind of go under the bump and bring it around. Now obviously I don't have a bump right now, so it's a little long. If I did have a bump, then you want it to place it right where the breast, either under the breastbone or just kind of under the armpit, maybe like 2 to 3 inches, okay? So I'm gonna put my bump on, and then we're gonna tape. So don't judge. I know it looks a little deformed, but it's all good, okay? We're in this together. All right, I'm gonna move my camera a little bit back so you can see a little bit better, okay? All right, so now you see my bump. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit more. All right. All right. So, taking the tape. Now, another thing I wanted to address before we tape. Hold on, put this back on. The best way to tape is when you're laying down. So when you lay down, it makes baby descend down to the spine. And then that is kind of like, whenever you tape, you're gonna flex or, to allow that muscle to stretch. So same thing, because we still have muscles, we still have rectus abdominis muscles, but I can't obviously tape myself laying down. So lay down, have somebody help you, tape you from your ASIS, bring it just around the abdominis, and then up and around under your, in your rib cage on the side, okay? But for a demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and do this standing up. I don't have a baby, so it's all good. So we'll go ahead, find that ASIS, bring it on there. Now you won't do any kind of, RockTape is stretchy, but in this case, in some cases you can stretch it, but in this case we're not, because you're gonna be laying down when you tape your belly, or somebody tapes you. And then you're just going to guide it. Of course, mine is way too long. Okay, so you're gonna bring it around. Let me take this part off because it's not right. This is not good trying to do it on your own standing up, that's for sure. All right, so I'm gonna put this over, lift my stomach up, because I think this is a little too low. All right, so ASIS, coming down around the belly to provide support, okay? And then just bringing it around. And then you're gonna bring it on the rib cage, up, kind of going into the armpit. So right there. And then we'll take our next one. Oh, this one is the one that okay. So this one already has a tear. So I'm gonna find my other ASIS. Okay. Now remember, you're doing this when you're laying down and somebody's going to assist you. And then you're just going to guide it. I can't do this laying down and doing a demonstration, and mine's kind of coming off, so don't judge. So then you're gonna come again, a little bit underneath, and around, and again, guiding that up into the rib cage, underneath the armpit, okay? So that's one way you could do it. Another way you could do it is you can do laterally, okay? But first make a belt underneath for support. So you'll have a piece like this, a long piece that maybe goes from your ASIS to your other side. You want to make it like that. And then you want to do some lateral down. So, and then you want to find underneath and just bring it all the way up right under your breastbone. But I found that this method was best for me. And another thing that comes to mind for pregnancy issues is a lot of piriformis or sciatica, and we'll be taping here, and then I will show 2 pictures after this video on lower back stuff, and then we're gonna do another video following for postpartum moms, okay? So piriformis, sciatica, so you're gonna lay on your right side, bend that knee, okay? You're gonna break it just like so, okay? Now this, you wanna create a stretch, okay? You're gonna do it on your bare skin, obviously. Also, let's see. So here, okay. And I didn't stretch it, but let's see. So then you could do an 80% stretch, making sure that that knee is flexed, okay? And then next, do the other one. So we're gonna create an X, okay? So then you'll get some of it right on the gluteus medius, okay? And then you wanna do a slight stretch and then bring that down, taking part of it and just rubbing it in, okay? And then this will alleviate any piriformis or, piriformis or sciatica in this area. So bum support, sciatica, piriformis, helping support that area. Also edema, swelling of the feet, bringing that into a picture.